Sugar daddy, they be tricking, they tell them girls. Said you can have whatever you like, yeah.
Hi, my name is Antwiwaa. Just in case the first time I seen this gorgeous face, I recently moved to my parents' house for the very first time, and I've been living in my new apartment for a couple of weeks. I feel like for the most part, and I may be wrong, but it's very easy for you to spend money on things that you deem important when moving into your first apartment. And when you eventually move in, you realize that you messed up, and for the first few months you're struggling because you spent your resources on things that you think were important but were not entirely important for your survival. So in this particular video, I'm going to be giving you a list of essentials that you not only need to survive your first apartment, but also enjoy your first apartment, because I don't think anybody out there wants to move out of their parents' house or wherever they are, get into their very first apartment and struggle. That's not something I think anybody wants. This list is going to consist of essentials that you need, the pricing of these items as at the first quarter of 2022, and some of the things I wish I knew and my advice based on my experience living in my first apartment for a couple of weeks. So in the process of moving out to a parent's house, acquiring your first apartment, or you're even apartment hunting, you definitely want to get something to note these essentials down, as they're going to come in handy when it's time for you to move into your very first apartment.
I don't wanna let myself down,
I think it's also important to note that this list will be very important to you if you don't have the budget to get your apartment, fill it up and decorate it from the get-go. By the end of the video, you know how much you have to budget for your essentials, and you can prepare yourself properly and make your move as smooth as possible. So let's start off with the bedroom. So for the bedroom, you're going to need a mattress. You're either going to be coming into your first apartment with the mattress that you're using previously, or you're going to get a new one. I decided to get a new mattress because I've been using my old mattress for some time and I just wanted something new for, you know, my grown-up back. The mattresses usually vary based on the thickness or the density of the mattress, and then whether it's a queen size mattress or it's a king size or it's a double bed, all of that jazz. I got a brand new 10-inch double bed mattress from Latex Foam and it cost about 1,005 cedis. For mattresses, I personally wouldn't advise that you get it second hand, because that's like a whole conversation. We're talking hygiene, we're talking about your health, like your back health and all of that. I'd advise that if you don't want to move into your first apartment with the mattress that you already own, you save up and get a brand new mattress, because it's something that you're going to be using for a long time and you want to make sure that you invest in that. Then moving on from your mattress, the second essential that you need for your bedroom is storage space. Storage space could be a wardrobe, could be a cabinet, or anything that can carry your clothes or your day-to-day essentials. And unless you want to live in a bedroom with bags or suitcases all over the floor, you definitely need some storage. I moved into this apartment with the wardrobe that I had from home, and I had it made some years back for about 2,000 cedis, give or take. If you already own a wardrobe, then that's fine, you don't need to buy a new one. But if you don't have a wardrobe and your apartment didn't come with a wardrobe, then you should be budgeting about 2,000 to 2,500 cedis for a wardrobe. And I think for a wardrobe, you can definitely get it second hand. There's so many shops that sell second hand wardrobes. Forget Instagram shops, to be honest. If you're on a tight budget, go out there, try to explore shops, compare prices and buy these things. Don't be buying them off Instagram, because I think for the most part, some of these things are inflated. Then the next thing you need to get are blinds or curtains, and then a mirror. I believe that mirrors are very essential. I shouldn't have to tell you that. Most apartments will only come with a mirror in the washroom. So if you're very particular with how you look, you quickly realize that not having a mirror can be a big pain in the ass. So get a mirror. You also want to get curtains or blinds, because for the most part, the unfurnished apartments do not come with curtains or blinds. And you don't want everybody outside seeing your business. So get your curtains before you move. We move on to beddings, pillows, duvets or blankets. And I should have mentioned that when I mentioned the bed. Forgive me, but yes, you need your bedding for your bed unless you want to sleep on a bare mattress. And you also need something to cover yourself in the night when it gets cold. Another thing that will make your first few months enjoyable and less stressful is getting hangers and an iron. And that should cost you about 150 cedis to 200 cedis for a very decent small iron. I got mine for about 100 cedis, and I got a set of hangers from China Mall for I think it was maybe 30 cedis for 4 pieces, 5 pieces, something along that line. But unless you enjoy wearing crumpled looking clothes or you don't care how you look, you want to get an iron and a hanger. Then let's talk about bed frames. You don't necessarily need a bed frame to survive your first few months. The price of the bed frame will also depend on the size of your bed. So for example, a king size bed frame would definitely be more expensive than a single bed frame. They can get very expensive depending on where you're shopping and what kind of bed you're getting, but on an average you have about 2,000, 2,500 and you get a very good bed frame. I think that for bed frames you can also shop second hand if you're on a very tight budget, and it was still a bed frame was not a priority for me because I was going to get a mattress. So I wanted to live in the space, the kind of decor I wanted, the kind of vibe I wanted for the space before I went ahead to get a bed frame. You can do that if you're concerned with the look and feel of your space. If you're going to get a bed frame, a mattress and a wardrobe, your budget for your bedroom essentials will be approximately 6,800 cedis. But relax, calm down. If you're not going to get a bed frame and a wardrobe, 4,000 or 5,000 or even 3,000 if you're not buying a mattress. Now let's move on to the essentials for your washroom. For your washroom, get a pack of tiro. Don't go and buy 1 tiro or 2 tiro for your new apartment. There are about 10 to 12 of them in a pack, and that should be about 15 to 20 cedis. Then you're going to need cleaning supplies for both your washroom and your entire apartment. So you're going to need a toilet brush. You're going to need a toilet cleaner. It could be a detergent, it could be something specifically made to clean your toilet. You're going to need a mop. You're going to need a broom. You're going to also need a cobweb remover. I think that's what they're called, but basically it's something that you use to remove cobwebs because those build up pretty quickly. And you need a scrubbing brush and maybe a duster to wipe surfaces if you live in an area that is dusty. Still get it doesn't matter where you live, there's definitely going to be some dust on surfaces, and it should cost you about 200 cedis to get all of these things. You might as well add a hand wash for when you use the toilet. Then you need a rag for your toilet floor. It is very essential because once you step out of the bathroom, unless you don't mind the mess or the the moisture and the wetness, you definitely need a rag when you freshly step out of the shower. You also need a bucket. If you're living in Ghana, Nigeria, or anywhere that doesn't have constant flow of water, you need a bucket, and you also have water stored. One of the things that I'm so proud of myself for doing is getting a barrel. When I was moving into this apartment, I decided that I needed to get a barrel because you don't know the landlord or the agent can promise you continuous water flow, but the realities may shock you. So get a barrel, put it in your kitchen if you want, or put it in your bathroom. I don't like cluttered bathrooms, so I wouldn't put it in my bathroom. My barrel is in my kitchen. I have a nicely sized barrel that can hold water that will sustain me for about a week or 2. I picked my barrel from my parents' house, but I think a decent sized barrel should be about 150 cedis, 200 cedis, based on how well you can bargain, or it can even be less. I think for the bathroom, you should be able to survive your first few months with the things that I've just mentioned. And everything I've mentioned would bring your total for the bathroom to about 400 or 500 cedis as at 2022 first quarter. Then we move on to the kitchen. So for the kitchen, if you're the type of person who likes to cook or who has to cook to survive, you definitely need a pan or pot set. You can get a decent set of a large pot or pan, a medium pot or pan, and a small pot or pan. And depending on the type you get, if you're getting the non-stick ones, the ones that are very heavy, then those are a bit priced. I've seen a set of 5 or 4 go for 600 and above. But if you're starting small and you're okay with getting stainless steel pots to start with, then you can get those for about 200 cedis. Then you also want to get a frying pan. I feel like you need to get a frying pan because even though you have saucepans, you can't do a lot of good frying in a saucepan. Get a good frying pan, it'll come in handy. I think I got mine for about 60 or 70 cedis. It's a non-stick one, and I've used it so many times since I got to this apartment. I haven't used it in my last vlog, which was my first night in this apartment. I'm going to leave the link in the description box just in case you want to see how my first night in this apartment went. So yeah, get a frying pan. And then most importantly, you need to get a cooker or a stove, however you call it, for your kitchen. I feel like if you're very tight on cash, you can decide to go for a second-hand cooker. I didn't ask for a second-hand cooker because I just felt like I wanted to get a brand new cooker, and so that's what I did. I went for a brand new cooker. And you get a decent size 4-burner stove that comes with an oven for about 800 to 1,000 2,005 cedis based on where you shop. I feel like you can definitely get away with a second-hand burner if that is what your budget allows you to get, so look into that as well. Just make sure that you're getting something that is good. You can also decide to go for a tabletop burner. I don't know how much those cost, so I can't give you a price range, or an electric burner. Electric burner in this economy, I don't know about that. I feel like it's better to get a regular burner and buy gas as opposed to using a burner that requires electricity. Get it, and I would say a prayer for electricity bill. Talking about gas, I also needed to get a gas cylinder for my stove. I'm very sure my cylinder cost about 250 cedis or less. I got a medium-sized gas cylinder because I don't want to fill it often. Like, that's not the soft side, come on. I wanted a cylinder that will last a month or more, so that I don't always have to be carrying a cylinder up and down my apartment trying to fill it. So I got a medium-sized one. The very big ones would probably go for about 300, 350. And the very small ones would probably go for 150 cedis. And then the cost of gas to fill my cylinder to the brim was 126 cedis. 130 cedis, give or take. So that is it for the cooker, the gas cylinder, and the gas itself. Then you need to get a fridge, and hear me out. If you don't get a fridge, the amount of money you're going to be spending on food or takeout will be outrageous. After my first week or even 2 weeks of living in this apartment, I did the math and I spent a good amount of money on takeout, because first of all, I come back from work exhausted and I don't always want to go in and cook a fresh meal from scratch. But if I had a fridge, then I would have been able to preserve some stews in there and then just have to like boil yam or cook some rice, or you know, fry something and eat it with the stew I have. So definitely get a fridge if you are one to cook and you don't want to waste money on takeout. I went fridge shopping and I saw a fridge that was, I think, almost 20,000 cedis. So I was like, whoa. But to be fair, it's like a big fridge for like a big family, so nobody's buying that for their first apartment, if you're being honest. So I'm going to give you a price range for the type of fridge I wanted to get. I wanted to get a double decker fridge. I don't know if that's what it's called, but basically a fridge that had a freezer portion and then a regular fridge portion. And the prices of those were ranging from 1,800 to about 2,600 to 3,000. And this is like my personal opinion. I would not advise you to get a fridge second hand. I'm just going to give it to you straight. Sometimes the second hand fridges are not the best for your electricity. I can't explain why, I don't know why that is, but for the most part, all those fridges were not made energy efficient. So that means that it's going to be sucking, for lack of a better word, it's going to be sucking all your electricity. And I have seen that firsthand. We used to have a fridge that we used for years, and then it was time to switch out that fridge. And the moment we switched out the fridge, electricity that would last us about 2 weeks or even a week at home was now lasting us about an entire month. So you can imagine the impact just one fridge had on our entire electricity bill. So definitely don't get a fridge second hand if you can. Otherwise, well, give it a shot, and hopefully you get one that is energy efficient. Moving on, we come to cutlery. Unless you want to eat and cook with your hands, you definitely need cutlery. Spoons, forks should be fine. If you're feeling a bit bougie, you can get like a spoon, fork, you know, a whole cutlery set with a knife and, you know, teaspoon, all of that jazz. I got a teaspoon, a tablespoon, and a fork. And if you watched my video where I was shopping for essentials, you saw that I just wanted to be a little extra, so I got like gold spoons. And every time I sit down to eat with my fork, or like make a cup of coffee with my golden fork, I don't know, I feel like, I don't know. Then I also went ahead and got you know, what do you call it, a ladle, how I call it, the spoon for frying stuff. I call it a perforated spoon. And I also got a spoon for stew. And then finally you need a knife. Don't bother yourself getting all the variety for the very first few months. As you go along, you're going to build on that, and before you know it, you have your apartment fully furnished with every single thing you need, and you'll be just fine. The whole cutlery, you know, cooking set should cost you about 100 cedis plus a knife. I don't think a microwave is an essential, but I know that some people microwave everything. If you want to get a microwave, do that. I saw microwaves the last time I went into a showroom, and we're going for about above 1,000 cedis, so like 1,005, 2,000. I don't think it's essential for your very first few months, especially if you're on a budget. But if that's your jam, go for it. I also think you can shop a second-hand microwave for sure. So since I mentioned getting a pack of Tiro for your washroom, I'm also going to mention getting some bags of water for your kitchen. You don't want to get just one bag of water and then run around trying to get more water as it runs out. I usually get like 4 bags of water, and that will last me a long time. So for the kitchen, everything I mentioned should cost you about 5,000 cedis. Or if you're like really squeezing and you have some of these things, like you have a cylinder already have your cooker and stuff like that, or you're planning to buy some of these things second hand, then maybe 3,000, 3,500 should be enough for you to get essentials for your kitchen for the very first few months. I feel like these 3 rooms are a standard for most apartments. For the most part, people's first apartments will be a bedroom, a kitchen, and a bathroom, and some others that are a little bit extra, like myself, will also get an apartment that has a living room, because just in case you need the extra space. But then you also have to worry about decorating and filling up that room. I think that for the very first few months, honestly, you don't need to have anything in your living room. I'm being honest. And this maybe just told me, but I'm not really entertaining anybody. Not like I'm asking all my friends to get the hell out of my life or anything, but for the most part, I'm not like entertaining or hosting anybody like that in this place. So my living room, which is where I'm filming, is pretty much empty. The only thing here is this table that I brought from home. The chair is what you see right here, and that's the only thing I have in my living room. I feel like you can take your time with your living room if you're on a budget. So I didn't even bother to put a budget together for your living room. I think you can consider getting a furniture for your living room second hand, most definitely. I'm going to be doing a lot of DIYs in this apartment, not only because I am trying to save as much as I can on my apartment, but if you're not new to the channel, you know that I love to be creative, and DIYing stuff is one of my creative outlets, and I genuinely enjoy doing that. Talking about DIYs, if you want to see the kind of DIYs I'll be doing in this apartment, go along with me decorating this beautiful apartment that I'm in, you definitely want to follow my other channel that is primarily going to be a home decor DIY channel. I'll leave the link to that channel in the description box, so you can go follow it and you don't miss out any of the DIYs that I'll be doing in this apartment. Hopefully it will inspire you, you know, to be a little bit more creative with your apartment. I also said my apartment was beautiful, and I stand by it. If you haven't seen my apartment tour, I'm going to link it up here somewhere. I'm also going to leave the link to the apartment tour in the description box, so you can see what my apartment looks like and you know what to look forward to in the DIY videos and the whole decorating this apartment videos. So based on the items I mentioned and the pricing that I have given you, your grand total for getting your essentials that will help you survive and enjoy your very first apartment for the very first 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months is, drum roll, if you're going to be buying a lot of your things from scratch, then that is how much you should expect to spend on your essentials. We've not even talked about, you know, getting a tiny things that will make your apartment like a home. All of those small stuff, decorative stuff, we've not even talked about those. That is how quickly everything adds up. I think one thing that will help you if you're planning on moving into your very first apartment is getting the money and buying these things little by little. I'm sorry about the child crying. I can't control it, so let's just act like there's no child crying in the background. You can start getting these things little by little as you try to find your apartment. I wouldn't advise you to get furniture because you don't know what kind of apartment you may end up with, and if you get furniture that is too small for the apartment or too big for the apartment, then you may have just wasted money, and that's not something we do. That's also one of the reasons I decided to move into this apartment, live in it for some time, live in it. live in it for some time, see what I need, what I don't need, and then begin to shop for furniture and other things that I may need to make my apartment feel like home. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, and please share with anybody that you may think may need it, or even just share on social media if you think it's that resourceful. And if you have any other questions that I may not have addressed in this video, please leave me a comment in the comment section. So if you want to follow me along on this journey, here is the playlist, tap on it and catch up. Otherwise, check out this video that YouTube thinks you'd enjoy, and I would catch you in one of these. Thank you for watching, and I hope this video has been resourceful to you. Mwah.